Hi, I'm Katie Halcrow with Power Up Prep, and I'm super excited today to take you through some tips and strategies to help you power up your ACT. If this is your first time with us, first, welcome. Second, check out the link below. There, you're going to find the ACT questions and the note sheets that you can do along with these videos. All right, so let's get those materials together, and we're going to be ready to power up. Okay, so we've done photosynthesis, pH scale, cells, and positive and negative charges. Now we're going to talk about taxonomic rank. So taxonomic rank have things like kingdom, family, genus, species. And there's a fun little phrase that can help you know what order they go in. So, dear King Philip came over for good soup. Dear King Philip came over for good soup. So what that stands for is dear is domain, king is kingdom, Philip is phylum, came is class, over is order, for is family, good is genus, and S is species. So good King Philip came over for good soup. Then we have those others in that order. So domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Whew. What that order means is that everything that comes above is like the parent of what is underneath. So two beings can be different species, but the same genus. And two different creatures could be in the same could be in different families, but in the same order. So that's how it works. How I've seen this on the test is that they might have a question and they say, oh, okay, well, there is a species called Homo sapiens, right? That's us. But there's also another species called Homo erectus. They're an earlier form of humans that lived 1.7 million years ago. So Homo sapiens and Homo erectus. The Homo is the genus. So both Homo sapiens and Homo erectus are in the Homo genus, but we're different species. So sapiens is a different species than erectus. So on this question, if it asked, are Homo sapiens and Homo erectus in the same genus, the same species, both or neither? The answer would be that they're only in the same genus. They're not the same species, because that first word, that capital word, is the genus of Homo sapiens. So Homo is our genus, sapiens is our species, so Homo sapiens. So if you come up with if the test has an example like that, like with frogs or with a certain plant, you'll know that if that first word is capitalized and it's the same, then it means they're in the same genus. And if the second word is different, it means they're not in the same species. Okay, so there we go, taxonomic rank. Hopefully that's all good. The next thing that I want to talk about is gametes versus alleles versus genotype. Okay, so for this, you might have seen that pundit square thing that you see where you have like big B, little b, and then big E on the side. So in this square, one of a B, either the big B or the little b, would be an allele. Not them together, but just them separate would be an allele. Whereas two things together, so like big B, big E, would be a gamete. And then the four of them together, so big B, little b, big E, would be the genotype. When you're looking at that, you can tell if a recessive trait is going to come out or if a dominant trait is going to come out. So the dominant trait is going to be that big B, and the recessive trait is going to be the little b. So if you had big B, little b, then the dominant trait would still come out. Whereas if you just had little b, then that would be the recessive trait that would show. So if it's big B, or big B, little b, you're going to have the dominant trait that shows, but two little b's would mean that the recessive trait shows. Okay, I know that's a little bit confusing, but hopefully that clarifies it a little bit. So those are gametes and alleles and genotypes and what you need to know about that. Next thing we're going to talk about is percent error. So we find percent error by doing the actual value or the observed value and subtracting the predicted value or expected value and dividing that by the actual or observed value. And then we take the absolute value of all of it because we can't have a negative value for percent error. So for a quick example, let's say you baked a cake. According to Newton's law of cooling, your cake should cool to 83 degrees in 17 minutes. But let's say it actually took 20 minutes to cool. So then you would do 20 minus 17 divided by 20, and then take the absolute value of that times 100%, and then you would get your percent error. Okay, so now we have done taxonomic rank, gametes and alleles, and percent error. So we only have 3 topics left. We're almost there. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them below. We love to hear from you. Also, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of our curriculum or other tips and tricks that can help you power up your ACT.